Welcome to Between the Bytes, where, I forgot what we even had. We're not as smart as your average nerd.
I'm reminding you, time to start Between the Bytes.
Google's parent company, Alphabet, sold Boston Dynamics to a company in Japan called SoftBank. Being sold to SoftBank, which has a tendency to put faces on their robots, so if you're scared of these things, it's only going to get worse. We've never actually done this before. We have some breaking news. It looks like there's a ransomware attack that is affecting airlines, banks, and utilities throughout all of Europe. It's similar to the WannaCry attack, and similar precautions actually could have been taken to prevent it. It's so severe that the Ukraine power grid was affected, and it's been hit, and there's actually an update that we can look at now, is what I'm understanding, from the country's official Twitter account. So thank you again, Christina, but let's go ahead and look at things over here. Alexa, give us some Harry Potter trivia.
I found a few matches. Do you mean Harry Potter letters or Harry Potter fan game?
It worked in the pre-roll, didn't work live. That's Between the Bytes. We'll see you next week.
Find that skill.
Stop it!
Find skill.
I'm Gary Arnold. This week, Tesla announced that they'll be releasing their Model 3. They'll actually be delivering 30 models to those who pre-ordered it. The Model 3 is the more affordable car option of the electric car that Tesla offers. It starts at $35,000, so not bad for a totally electric vehicle.
Steal of a deal.
That's right. They received over 400,000 pre-orders, so people are loving this car, and they'll be releasing more as the year goes on. Samsung announced that they will be repurposing the Galaxy Note 7. That's right. The phone, known for exploding in people's hands, it became such a safety hazard that the FAA banned it from all flights. You can now buy it again if you live in South Korea. So they are releasing a select number of these refurbished Galaxy Note 7s. What are some interesting bits of media or books or podcasts that you're listening to right now or watching?
You know, recently I just finished reading the book Grit, and I was very much impressed with the message in there that more than talent, sheer hard work ethic, effort, persistence, being passionate about what you do, that those things matter twice as much as any God-given talent.
Welcome back to the studio. We'll get a studio. We'll eventually get a studio.
One day. Subscribe.
Well, yeah, subscribe. You'll see. We're working our way up. Whoa! Hey!
To close us out, we're gonna crack a fortune cookie. Short and sweet. Strive for the best.
Wow, they have a way with words.
Catch us next week on Between the Bytes.
We'll see you. Happy 4th of July. I don't know where to go.
I'm Arashbek Chandapur.
And I'm Arashbek Chandapur. And this is Gary Arnold.
Hi.
Here's your reminder. Time to start Between the Bytes.
Alexa, you're late.
We already started. We started without you. You were late. Don't sleep in next time. Alexa, stop. Eric Montague from Executech was featured in the Utah Business podcast this week. He was interviewed by Lisa Christensen. They talked about some concerns that small businesses might have with their cybersecurity. Eric gave a ton of great tips on that podcast. It's available online. We'll post that link in the description. This week's product demo is going to be the Nest thermostat. The Nest thermostat can be used at home or in your office, which we have here at the Executech office. We have 3 of these. I also have it at my house. So we wanted to demo a few of the features that are on this thermostat.
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Yeah. And then to close things off, let's have Alexa take us out of here. Alexa, can you beatbox, please? Alexa, can you beatbox? Alexa, can you beatbox? Amazon recently announced that they're going to be doing their Amazon meal kits. So similar to what Blue Apron has been doing for years, Amazon wants to do all of this in-house.
Google just released to the public their new hiring app called Hire.
So putting their competition aside, Baidu has recently partnered with Microsoft.
Some interesting news from Google again is that the glass is back.
And there's one of the bullets that it did highlight that was there's a little bit more of a need for diversity out here.
Some great news, local news for you, being featured in Forbes magazine here in Utah. We're excited about it.
We're featuring the Philips Hue. Different brightnesses and different themes.
We're here to give you your tech tip of the week. This tip is to help you with your power smartphone users. If you find that your smartphone is draining a lot of battery power, be sure to check old apps that you're not using anymore. Sometimes old apps will drain your battery. Also check for apps that are using your location. Location services will also drain your battery. Also, try to keep your phone as cool as possible. An overheated phone will also drain battery.
And then coming next week, our newest guest on Between the Bytes, a Google Home and Alexa.
Battle of the AI coming next week.
Dun dun dun!
Don't miss it on Between the Bytes.
We'll see you next week. Like we said, a local Wisconsin company. They're called 3 Square Market is giving the option to employees to utilize bio implants for scan identification at work, to check in, to make purchases. And I'm sure you've had a bunch of tough projects. What kind of stands out to you? And no need to name company names, but just give us an example of what it's like, dealing with an extensive project here at Executech.
Sure. I had one a couple of years ago where the clients, they had one server that basically manages 10 servers, and that was failing, and they weren't really prepared for that. They were trying to save some money, so they scaled back on some support, which ended up biting them in the rear, and we had to do an emergency project over Christmas timeline. Literally, it was Christmas party, and I was working pretty much during Christmas to make sure transition from one system to another. Just on a time crunch, we had failed hard drives, and one more failed drive, and their whole system would have been down.
Executech to the rescue.
Facebook was developing a chat software that would communicate with itself, 2 robots communicating with each other to barter an acquisition of pretend objects, hats, balls, whatever. Well, during this chat that the artificial intelligences were having, they started developing their own language. That's right. This learning algorithm started using a language somewhat outside of English to communicate about the trade. And Sandra, you've mentioned culture a couple of times. Executech has grown a lot over the past 5 years. We've got tons of new employees. How have you and the leadership team been able to build and maintain a culture as Executech has grown?
So over the last 5 years, since I've been here, we were a smaller group. So it was really like a family. Eric's done a really good job on keeping that family feel for us. Even though now we're over 90 employees. We do that a lot we use Microsoft Teams, so that as a lot of our team members are remote, they're working at their clients. So, being able to chat back and forth about issues that they're having, or, just, oh, I heard this funny joke, and so then they can, have that banter where it's not in an office setting, it's more online. We also do a lot of summer barbecues. We do a lot of things that can bring us all together, parties or events.
That's awesome. And so it kind of sounds like it's a combination of things, not just one magical bullet for company culture.
Nope, not for us.
And before I let you finish things here, Gary, I want to get our Between the Byters opinions here. Whose socks do we like more today? That's what I want to know.
A or G? Jury's out.
A.
G. We promised the battle of the AI, and so we're bringing it to you today in our sign-off. It's the Amazon Echo versus the Google Home. Alexa, what's on my calendar for today?
Today, there is one event remaining. At 3 p.m. there's OK Google. What's on my calendar for today? Today, there's only one thing. It's at 2:30 p.m. and its title is Alexa, what's on my calendar today? Today, there is one event remaining. At 3 p.m. there's OK Google. What's on my calendar for today? Today, there's only one thing. It's at 2:30 p.m. and its title is Alexa, what's on my calendar today? Today, there is one event remaining. At 3 p.m. there's OK Google. What's on my calendar for today?
Today, there's only one thing on your calendar.
Make them stop.
2 p.m. and its title is Alexa.
We've created
Make them stop.
There is no winner. They both win.
Oh, this is how it all begins. Where we're not as smart as your average nerd. I'm Rashbak Shandapur. This is Gary Arnold. He forgot we're not on break. I'm fine, Gary. Thank you.
Did you get... Those are dry.
Are these pretzels making you thirsty?
Yeah, those are
Seinfeld
dry.
reference. Anyone?
T-Mobile was noticing in the Kids these days.
Paper-thin walls in our studio.
Yeah, in demonstration, the robot had a little bit of a mishap, and while exiting the stage, fell off.
And the quality
Man, I feel like a woman.
is superb. That was drag your mouth.
I got a drink now.
Beverage. It's a good thing.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. Excuse me. We're back.
Drink?
Oh, please. Yeah. Nothing like some Gatorade to quench your thirst.
Not an actual sponsor. But if you'd
Yet.
like to sponsor us, we're open.
I could do this on my own. He doesn't need me. They don't need me. I am Between the Bytes. I may even be as smart as your average nerd. Welcome to this week's Between the Bytes. I'm Rashbak Shandapur.
And I'm Gary Arnold.
$1 billion side project by including Elon Musk called OpenAI played some professional esports gamers in Dota 2, and it beat them. In the first match, it beat the gamer in 10 minutes. In the second, the gamer resigned, and come match 3, the gamer refused to play. So this week's featured guest on Between the Bytes is our very own Casey Coons. He's a Tier 3 technician here at Executech.
So, not much into books or anything like that.
Because who reads?
Yeah, right. Who reads anymore? It's totally overrated. So, welcome to the Principal Funding Group. Thank you. After everybody's good, then I will sit down and walk through backups. I'll check the hardware and make sure that the servers are functioning the way they should, make sure the internet's working the way that it should.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Batman. Gary? Who's your favorite superhero?
Captain America.
Okay.
Welcome to Between the Bytes. I'm Gary Arnold. Arash.
I could do this on my own. He doesn't need me. They don't need me. I am Between the Bytes.
Welcome to Between the Bytes. I'm Gary Arnold.
And I'm a rock. No, wait. I'm Sandra Smith. Sorry, who is in charge of getting a teleprompter around here?
Yeah, we gotta get one of those.
So Monday was the eclipse, and no apocalypse happened.
I took some pictures here at the office of us trying to see it. We didn't get totality here at the Executech office, but still pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I have some pictures that Gary will share on here, and it was anytime that you get a chance to see the eclipse, I highly recommend it.
So Carrie, the last thing, as one of our special guests, we understand that you have a pretty interesting hobby.
Yeah.
And we'd like to go and have you demonstrate that hobby. I understand you are quite a drone fanatic.
Yes, I am. As far as top speed goes, probably 75 miles an hour, maybe.
Welcome to Between the Bytes, where we're not as smart as your average nerd.
Governor Herbert has announced a segue, or a more of a relationship that he wants to build between the tech companies and our schools here in Utah, specifically STEM students. And we want to he says he wants to build that segue all the way from junior high to high school to college, and then professional world. He met with leaders from Silicon Slopes to get any insight, any recommendations, and help them forge a plan. And it's still in the infant phases, but it looks like this is a great momentum for Utah education programs.
We're here Between the Bytes with our special guest. We're here at Diversified Insurance in downtown Salt Lake City, and we've got our special guest Gina here with us. Do you guys specialize in an industry, or?
We specialize in technology, and not just technology, but fast-growing companies. That tends to be our specialty, a company, and helping them grow. In fact, the majority of the IPOs that have happened in the state of Utah, we've been consulting on the risk of all of that. So D&O insurance is a specialty.
And then holding true to Between the Bytes tradition, Alexa, who's your favorite Between the Bytes cast member? Arash is Arash. Arash.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you next week on Between the Bytes. We've got a lot of artificial intelligence news today, some AI news. The very first bit that we have is about an artificial intelligence that was developed by the University of Chicago. This AI was trained to leave fake reviews. So whatever language programming they did to it, it studied hundreds of thousands of reviews of real users, and from it, it learned how to leave a review on a restaurant.
This headline might scare you a little. Vladimir Putin is getting involved in AI. He is well aware that it is the future of all mankind, and he's been quoted saying that there are colossal opportunities, but it is difficult to predict the threats, which Gary and I have been telling you here on Between the Bytes for a while now.
We warned you.
We warned you. And a direct quote from Putin. This one is the one that may scare you a little. Whoever becomes the leader in this sphere will become the ruler of the world. Verbatim from Vladimir Putin.
No big deal.
Fortunately, he has come out and said that Russia will be sharing any AI knowledge that comes out to make sure that we can proceed in this tech world and in the AI world as one. And then fortunately, Elon Musk has even weighed in. The problem is it's not fortunate news.
Yeah.
Saying that the competition for AI superiority is what will eventually lead to World War III.
Could lead. You didn't hear it from us. But if the news breaks, you will hear it here first on Between the Bytes.
Here first.
Double the fun with both of us here to demo a product.
Trouble.
That's right. This week we are demoing the Nintendo Switch. Oh, false start. Where you at, bro?
I'm almost done, I think. And here's Frontline Between the Bytes, where we bring you frontline news of cyber attacks out there in the world to you, Between the Bytes subscribers and watchers. Executech.
Like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Please do. We'll see you next week. And on this week's Product Insider, we have Casey Coons here to give us a description, one of the techs here at Executech that we've also featured on Between the Bytes before. Casey, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Take us away.
So this is Microsoft's brand new Surface Hub, anywhere in the world. So it comes with satellite images everywhere, very similar to Google Maps. And then on here, you can basically fly around in 3D space and see all different buildings and how things are laid out.
This is Frontline worthy. Welcome to Executech Frontline. Alexa, tell us a joke.
Why do meteors prefer cold showers when they get home?
Why?
They're always burning up on entry.
Yeah, we'll catch you next week on Between the Bytes. Welcome to Between the Bytes, where we're not as smart as your average nerd. This week, the first thing we wanted to talk about is a partnership between Facebook and Microsoft has led to the largest transatlantic internet cabling. So they just announced that the project was finished. They laid this cable, it went from Virginia to a little town in Spain. This is the backbone of the internet. They are looking to improve it so that there's faster speeds across the continent. This cable is able to transfer 160 terabits of data per second. That's the equivalent of over 71 million HD videos streaming at the same time. Incredible speeds. It just means that the internet is getting better for the whole world.
Yep, making the world a smaller place.
That's right. Yeah. Bit of news is regarding a local company called The Void. You may have heard of this company. They became famous by releasing a virtual reality experience around the Ghostbusters movie. The Void is based in Linden, Utah, but their experiences have been set up in places such as New York and Hollywood. It's more than just virtual reality goggles. The Void allows you to walk around an arena experiencing it as if it were real while wearing the goggles. So,
and a new segment here on Between the Bytes is Tech History. On this day, 19 years ago, everyone's favorite search engine,
Google was founded. It actually was founded on the 4th of September, but Google itself and worldwide is celebrated on the 27th of September.
I'm sure there'll be a doodle to celebrate.
Absolutely.
That's
Stay tuned on Google for a doodle.
Classic. Thanks for watching this week's Between the Bytes. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our Insights page where you can see more cutting-edge insights and breaking news about cyber attacks on the Executech blog. And we'll catch you next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a good one.